The Chicago Bears get good news and bad news coming out of the bye week. So let's talk about it. What is going on, y'all? Faiz Forstall back at it with another video. Talking some NFL here to talk about the Chicago Bears. So if you're a Bears fan, guys, please do hit that subscribe button down below. And make sure you hit the bell icon so you're notified every time I drop a new video, as I'm dropping daily content on the channel. All right, real quick. Shout out to the sponsor of today's video, ProfitX. ProfitX is America's #1 sports prediction market where users play against each other instead of the books. And because of that, you will almost always get the best price on any total spreads, money lines, and player props. Playing on the site, guys, if you use my promo code right now, FST, you can claim up to $200 in profit cash playing on your first 30 days on the site. Terms and conditions apply, guys. We're real money predicting sports. All right, let's get right into it. So I said good news and bad news. We'll start with the good news, all right? We got a bunch of guys coming back from injury, which is going to be huge. Let's go ahead and list them out here. So the Bears have activated Austin Booker and Travis Homer for their practice window to be able to come back. Now, it is a 21-day practice window, which means that they could potentially return against the Commanders in Week 6, but it's not a guarantee. But certainly they have 21 days to go ahead and, bring them and get them ready to play. So hopefully that helps a lot, because Austin Booker would be a huge help for this defensive line, which desperately needs some pass rush help, and he would be a big contributor for us. So Booker would be, amazing if he's able to play Week 6, but certainly, hopefully he's able to play soon, if not this week. And the Travis Homer, listed as a running back, we know that, but mainly he's on special teams, so I'm not expecting, major contributions, if any, on the run game, but really in special teams, he's a key cog for us, so that is also good as well. Couple other guys. Kyler Gordon has already said that he is going to play for sure against the Commanders. That is a huge help. Our secondary had been decimated. Now, guys had stepped up like Tyreek Stevenson, and so, that's good, but obviously we need Kyler Gordon back, especially because we still don't have Jalen Johnson. So he's going to be a big help. And then Colson Loveland, he looks to be over his injury. I know he didn't practice recently, but he is, for all intents and purposes, I believe, set to go. I don't think it's a serious injury. I think they were just resting him with the bye week last week. All right. And then TJ Edwards is also back as well. Another key cog on the defensive end that is going to help us a lot. The only guy really that we're waiting on is Darnell Wright, who is still questionable. Now, we know Theo Benedict is going to be the starting left tackle. Braxton Jones has effectively been benched, but if Darnell Wright is not out there, I expect it to be Ozzie Trapilo. I have faith in the rookie, but obviously Darnell Wright, more experienced, better player at this point. Having him out there would be huge for the offensive line. He just has to clean up those penalties. So a lot of good stuff with the key cogs on both offense, defense, and special teams coming back for us against the Commanders, getting healthy. That would be huge for the Chicago Bears. So I'm loving that we're getting all this good news for injuries and guys coming off these injuries, coming off the bye. Let's talk about the bad news here, all right, because I think this is important. The bad news is usually when you have a bye week, right, you obviously do get guys coming back and you get rest, and you have guys getting healthier like I just mentioned. The other part of it that you hope during the bye week is that the other teams in the division and the conference, maybe they lose a game or two here. Maybe, they don't really take off, if you will, or, win out. And that's exactly kind of what happened here. Now, I'm not going to say there are major surprises here, but let's just list them off here. We know the Vikings beat the Browns, overseas in that game. So that's a divisional win for them. They are now ahead of us. And then we also had the Lions beating down the Bengals, which obviously we expected. But hey, crazy upsets have happened in the NFL all season long, so that would have been nice to see. But yeah, that happened. And a couple other teams just in the conference, not the division, but the conference, right? The Cowboys beat the Jets, all right? Then we had the Panthers beat the Dolphins. We obviously had the Commanders, our opponent this week, beat the Chargers, which was the biggest upset to me of the week, maybe outside of, the Bills losing to the Patriots. Actually, that was the biggest upset. So maybe second biggest upset here. And this is important because why? Because the Bears potentially could be contending for a wild card spot, and these are teams that you would be, going up against. So it's like all the teams in the NFC effectively won. I think they went 5-2 here, teams in the NFC this past week. And so the only teams really that the Bears are ahead of in the conference right now are the Cardinals, the Panthers, the Saints, and the Giants. All right. And obviously that's not good now. The Cowboys and Falcons are tied with us. Cowboys are 2-2-1 with that tie, and the Falcons are 2-2 as well with the Bears. So it's like we got some work cut out for us to be able to, go ahead and win some football games to get us back, in contention here. Again, very early in the season, but I'm just saying it would have been nice if during the bye week a couple of these teams lost so we didn't have as much ground to make up. And now taking a look ahead to our next 5-game stretch here, people. This is very important, all right? We have the Commanders this week, then we have the Saints, we have the Ravens, we have the Bengals, and then we have the Giants. At bare minimum, you need to go 3-2 in those next 5 games. No questions asked, all right? Bare minimum, you got to win against the Saints, you got to win against the Giants, and you probably have to win against the Bengals. I know they just got Joe Flacco, but I really don't think that's much of an upgrade over Jake Browning, which is really, sad to say because Jake Browning has been god-awful. But Flacco is a cone. He is an absolute statue at this point at 40 years old. And you think behind that Bengals sieve of an offensive line, he is going to be able to, sit in the pocket and deliver? No, literally at the first sign of a pass rush, he's going to be on his back. And so I don't know why the Bengals didn't go out and acquire a guy like a Jameis Winston or even a Russell Wilson. But again, that's the Bengals, and, that's why they have not been good this season, obviously with the Joe Burrow injury. But you get my point here. And so you should be able to beat the Bengals even with Joe Flacco. That's not a major upgrade. So at bare minimum, I need those 3 wins: Saints, Giants, Bengals. Now, with the other 2, the Commanders and the Ravens, the Commanders game's going to be very tough. The Commanders are a good football team. I just talked about the fact that they beat the Chargers, which was a shocking win to me. And obviously, I have put out my game preview for that. I do expect the Bears to come out on top, but obviously it's a 50-50 game, and the Commanders are a good football team. They made it all the way to the NFC Championship game last season for a reason, so I'm not overlooking them at all. So obviously that's a toss-up. And then the Ravens game, that one, obviously a little bit of a toss-up here because Lamar Jackson could be back for that one. Obviously, if he's out, that's huge, and you should be able to stop the Ravens because they have a million guys out with injury, and their defense has been god-awful this season. So, in a perfect world, you go 5-0, and that would be awesome, right? That would be awesome, and you're, 7-2 at that point. But like I said, realistically speaking, you go 3-2. All right, just go 3-2, and then you're 5-4, and you're staying afloat in that, playoff race and within the division. So, to me, that is what the Bears basically have to look forward to in the next 5 games because, guys, after that, division games, we got some tough opponents. We got the Eagles on deck, Packers coming up. Like, it is going to get tough very quickly, a quick, fast, and in a hurry. So, got to take advantage of these games. Absolutely have to. So, that is what I am expecting here. So, hopefully, they get the job done. I can't wait. But look, right now, it's 1 week at a time, 1 game at a time. Got to go ahead and beat the Commanders and then worry about the rest of those teams. So there you have it, folks. That is the bad news for the Bears coming out of the bye week. So some good, some bad. Let's go ahead and beat the Commanders and stack up these wins and keep stacking them up. And let me know what you guys think about that. Leave a comment down below with your thoughts. Sound off. I want to hear from you guys as always. Thanks for watching.